Today we're going to go over suppressors. We're going to debunk all the myths, all the baloney, all the bullcrap. We're going to go straight facts so everybody can see this and have a better understanding of what suppressors really do, as opposed to what the media and Hollywood and everybody else thinks they do. All right. But before we get into that, let's find out when suppressors came to be in some history real quick. Now, with suppressors and their history, the most common facts, when did suppressors start showing up? In 1902, Hiram Percy Maxim, he's the first person to be credited with inventing suppressors. However, they could have been, other people could have been around, it could be improvised, they could have been makeshift, etc. He was the first one, though, commercially successful in 1902, and he was the first person granted a patent for them back in 1909. All right, so we kind of have the general idea of when suppressors came to be, or at least when they were first starting to get marketed. Let's first also go over the science of a firearm. Why is it so loud when you shoot? And here's the reasons for it. All right, some factors to factor in. Bullet speed. The faster the bullet, the louder the gun. Bullets that exceed 1,100 feet per second break the sound barrier, creating that supersonic crack that you hear. You have your powder charge. The more powder ignited with the gun fired, the louder the gun's going to be. Bore charge, larger bores make guns louder. Muzzle proximity, pistols are often louder than rifles because the muzzle is closer to the shooter's ear. Barrel length, short-barreled rifles are louder than longer-barreled rifles of the same caliber. Muzzle blast, when the bullet leaves the muzzle, the gases behind it escapes, creating a loud boom. That one's important. We'll come back to that one shortly. Impact noise, the sound of the bullet striking its target. So how do suppressors work? Very simple. When you shoot your firearm, you ignite that powder blast, it propels the bullet. Those hot gases are going so fast they break the sound barrier and make the loud cracking noise. What the suppressor does is it slows those gases down by hitting all of those baffles, making it muffled. Aside from Maxim's designs, there's two different types of suppressors. There's a monolithic core, where there's one solid piece inside the tubing, which slows the gases down. All sorts of baffle designs vary depending on the suppressor and company. Or you have your modular baffles, or K-baffles as most call them, where you can stack them inside the tubing and adjust them however you'd like. Maxim's design was the basis core for every other suppressor out there. With technology, time, and innovation, suppressors have become way more modernized, more progressive, and effective. The first Maxim suppressor used crafted series of baffles to contain those gases until they cooled off, making muzzle gases basically spin in a vortex before passing out of the silencer. The end result was that the gas was low enough pressure to eliminate much of the sound associated with gunfire, while suppressors then and now can do nothing about the supersonic crack of bullets traveling faster than sound. They can and do work rather well with silencing the report muzzle gases. Stackable modular baffles are also more durable than if you were to have a monocore, as well as they're a lot easier to clean, and you can also shoot higher calibers and multiple calibers through several of the suppressors. Monocore suppressors, they do away with the baffle or wipe stack and replace it with a carefully machined tube that goes inside the main suppressor body. There are some manufacturing advantages for monocore suppressors, which make them cheaper and easier to make. Looking at a monocore suppressor core, you can see that it resembles more of the older styles of stacked baffles and achieves sound suppression by forcing the gas out of the suppressor, much like the early Maxim suppressors did. However, monocore suppressors retain many of the performance problems of older stacked baffle designs. They cannot work well with high-powered Magnum rifle rounds without greatly increasing their length and weight, and then they can be harder to clean than a stacked baffle design. We've covered the two common types of suppressors, monocore or modular core stackable baffles. However, for the ultimate optimum experience as far as lowering the sound decibels, one thing to take into consideration would be subsonic ammunition. Subsonic ammos are designed to operate at velocities below the speed of sound, which at standard conditions avoids that supersonic shock wave or that initial crack of a supersonic bullet, which particularly works better for suppressed firearms, which influence the loudness of one shot.
Combined with firearm sound suppressors, subsonic ammunition may significantly reduce those sound levels compared to normal ammunition. Specific reductions depend on the ammunition and the suppressor as well. Subsonic ammo comes for all versions of standard rounds, most commonly heavier bullets loaded in standard ammunition, especially within pistols. It keeps the velocity below the speed of sound. Some ammunition was designed specifically to be subsonic and work with suppressors, for instance 300 Whisper and 300 Blackout. Well, we've covered where suppressors came from, how they operate, how they truly function, safety, the benefits, everything along that line. There are a few great companies out there that manufacture suppressors. You have Silencer Central, which is very popular choices to go through in the Midwest. There's Silencer Co. from my home state of Utah. Silencer Co. have some pretty innovative, cool stuff. The salvo shotgun suppressor is pretty cool. There's always the very popular Osprey, which is based off of a lot of Maxim's original designs. Highly recommended. However, all suppressors are going to operate and function differently, depending on caliber types and whatnot. So the only thing left to do, guys, is if suppressor sounds like something for you, go out and get it. Make sure you do it properly, get your tax stamp. It's a pain in the butt, but do it the right way, guys. Hey, take care. Thanks for watching. In the other set of series of these suppressor videos that I've made, we debunked sound decibel levels, law enforcement reaction, poaching, things along that line. Hollywood's another one that needs to be debunked. They make the firearms look like they're completely silent, nobody can hear a thing, it's an assassin's tool, assassin's weapon, etc. When, in the debunking methods, an FBI agent even states that the suppressor does not make the firearm more dangerous, all it does is make it more comfortable for the shooter to shoot the pistol. In other words, recoil and sound are going to be different. So, the truth is, the image that Hollywood likes to put off, making them, kind of this deadly tool that's attractive to a lot of people, it's scary and whatnot for cinematic effect. As everything with Hollywood, it's pretty plastic and, little truth, but mostly bullcrap for entertainment reasons.